What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of CrossFit Kitchen. I am Eddie, aka Lelo, along with...
And what's up, everybody? I'm Brandon. I actually don't have an AKA right now.
For today's dish, we're going to be making some deviled legs, garnished with some chorizo.
And on top of that, I'm going to complement that with a Tom Collins, one of the classics. We're going to bring it back. But before we start that, let's do things right.
First things first, man.
Let's get it.
Alright, so for today's ingredients, we're obviously going to make some mayonnaise from scratch. So we'll be using some egg yolks, we'll be using the THC Infused oil, we'll be using a little bit of white vinegar, and lime juice and salt. For the deviled eggs itself, of course, boiled eggs, we're going to use the yolk of the inside once it's boiled. We're going to do some pickle relish, we're going to do a little bit of chili, spice, and a little bit of mustard. So let's get started. Alright, so for those of you at home who do not know how to boil eggs, this is how we do. You want to have a pot with enough space for your eggs to boil and move around if you're going to have to. We started off with hot water, and what we're going to do, we have about 20 eggs here. We're going to let them boil for about 15 to 20 minutes. But while they're boiling, let's go to Brandon and see what he's making for us today.
Alright guys, today we're making a Tom Collins. There's a lot of different recipes out there, and I actually have my own twist, and that's what we're going to be doing today. But I do want to go to the ingredients. We have our Seagram's gin. Seagram's, it's hit or miss with a lot of people. Personally, I like it. It has a little bit on the sweeter side. Obviously, it's a gin, so it's dry. Now, this baby right here, if you saw our previous episode, you already know what that is. That is our THC simple syrup. We actually show you how to make it. Click on our first video, and we'll give you a little detour on how to actually make that bad boy. I'm using tonic water instead of soda water. Yes, I do know the traditional recipe calls for soda water. I'm using tonic. It has a sweeter taste. I do like the sweeter side of things. I'm not going full pina colada status here, but I do like the sweeter stuff. And what really sells this bad boy is a fresh squeezed lemon. If you go to a lot of bars, restaurants, clubs, they squeeze it and it sits in the fridge for a few days. Or even worse, they'll buy the sugary shit and they'll just add it to the drink. What we're doing is actually cutting this fresh. So the recipe calls for 0.75 ounces. Realistically, a full lemon should be enough. So halfway on this would be a 1.5 ounces. To the rim would be 3 ounces because this is a double shot. So if we get about halfway, that's all we need. If anything, we'll actually have more than we need. You really want to squeeze that, get all the juice out of there. Nothing too crazy. You don't need to be hurting your wrist, carpal tunnel on that status. But as you can see, we definitely have more than 0.75 ounces. So, recipe calls. We're not going to use that one. That was bad. We have our shaker with the ice in it. You never want to pour directly into the shaker with the ice because when you do that, and as you're creating, it actually dilutes the ice down, getting you a more watered down drink. So we're going to use our empty shaker. We're going to use 2 ounces of Seagram 7 gin, or any gin, your choice. But for today, it's Seagram's. I'm using a jigger right now for measuring purposes. I can usually free pour, however, demonstration purposes, gotta do it. So 2 ounces of gin. We're gonna do 0.75 ounces of our beautiful THC simple syrup, which is gonna be to the rim on this one. And our fresh ingredient that we just did, some fresh squeezed lemon juice. You're gonna do 0.75 ounces, which is not going to try to pour that everywhere like I just did. And we're going to shake it. We're not going to shake it too long, because the longer you shake it, the more it dilutes down. But you do want a little bit of dilution. Nothing too crazy. Worst part about shakers, they're always a pain in the ass. Strain that out. You get about 3/4 full. And the rest, we're just going to top off with a little bit of tonic water. Now, the rest traditional recipe calls for a lemon wedge. I think it's more aesthetic. Just put a nice little wheel up there. And as you can see, tastes damn well just as good as it looks. I think the deviled eggs are ready, so let's get back.
Alright guys, so we have been boiling our eggs already for about 15 to 20 minutes. And we moved them to the side so they can cool down a little bit. Alright, so how do you know when your eggs are boiling? You'll know they're boiling because it actually start cracking a little bit, If you see those little cracks around it, that means that your egg's starting to, fluff up a bit. That means they're ready to go. So just take them out, let them rest for about 10-15 minutes. And, once they're, feel like you cool down for a little bit enough, we actually are going to peel them underneath the cold water. Why cold water? Because if we do hot water, you might just peel some of the white egg part, and that's something that we do not want to make. You know, we want to have some pretty looking eggs. So yeah, let's just start peeling. All right, so this should look like that. Alrighty guys, so we already have peeled our eggs, which now we are gonna make our mayonnaise from scratch. And how this dish would be infused with THC would be throughout the mayonnaise, because we're gonna use the oil that we did on our last episode to make a mayonnaise. So what we did, we're only gonna use the yolk part of the egg, right? So what I did for this, we're only gonna use about maybe a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. So we're only gonna make a small amount. I did 10 egg yolks. I got half of a lime. We're gonna freshly squeeze it inside. There we go. We got a little bit of white vinegar. We're gonna throw about maybe a teaspoon in there, and maybe about 2 teaspoons of salt in there. All right. Now we're gonna blend this at a very low, because we are going to try not to break it. So here, let's go. All right, so we're mixing it. So we're gonna start putting our oil in it. Slowly. We may need another yolk. All right, guys, so we added 2 more egg yolks because we didn't have enough yolks at the beginning. All right, let's try this one more time. All right, seems like we're good now. All right, guys, so how we're gonna do this chorizo spice crumbs, we have some chorizo that we bought from the store earlier. So we have our saute, you know, we're only doing a small amount of chorizo. So what we're doing, we've gotta make sure the saute is very hot. What we're gonna do pretty much, we're just gonna cook this off until it's very hard, or you can actually turn into like kind of crumbs. And we're just gonna keep sauteing it until it keeps shrinking and shrinking. And we will see how it turns out in a couple of minutes. Starting to smell good. All right, guys, and that should be how your final product should look. Alrighty, guys, so let's get ready for making our deviled eggs. So what we do for this part, we're gonna save the yolks, because that's gonna be what we're gonna use to make the mix. And we're pretty much gonna save the white part, because we're gonna put the mix inside of where the yolk used to be. And for this, we're gonna cut it from our length, you know, top to bottom, up and down and up, however you guys wanna cut. Alrighty, guys, so we got our egg yolks already separated from our egg whites. Yeah, right, only a little bit, but that's only because we're doing 20 eggs, and Brandon has been eating a few every now and then. But anyways, we're gonna add about maybe a tablespoon of pickle relish. We're gonna do 1 of mustard. I'm not really a fan of mustard, guys, but to be honest, when I'm eating deviled eggs, I can't even tell if it has some or not. We're gonna do a little bit of our paprika black pepper. You guys are more than welcome to use just pepper. You know, it's always pepper and salt, always, you know, add to taste. But everything that we're cooking without salt or pepper. And of course, we're gonna add a little bit of our infused mayonnaise. which is a little bit runny, but it's runny because we didn't want to add as much oil because you guys see how much of the THC infused oil I added. And we want to get high, but not stupid high. Okay, so after that, we're pretty much just gonna be mixing everything in the bowl, as you guys can see. You guys, if you guys have a rubber spatula, you guys are more than welcome to use that. If you guys have anything that dices, like a dicer or anything, you guys can just run the yolks through that. And yeah, it's pretty much. We're pretty much kind of getting this. It's kind of like a masa texture, Masa is what we use to make tortillas, by the way. So it seems a little bit kind of like too much powder. We're gonna add a little bit of more mayonnaise because we do want to get the munchies after we eat again, right? All right. Keep mixing. Keep on mixing. And it seems like we got our finishing ready, guys. So we already got our mix already made. We have this, believe it or not, is a Ziploc bag. I will show you guys later on how I made this. But for now, all you want to do is pretty much just squeeze in the mix that we had made before. Squeeze in the eggs. Some people have like tips for their bags. So like the design can actually come out looking pretty. You can have it coming out like a star, a heart, or whatever you want to make it. But we're just gonna make little egg dumps in the meantime. Make sure each little one gets a little bit of yolk. Fill them all up. Oh no.
Oh no!
It's falling off. It's fine. Okay, careful when you press on the bag. You don't want all the pressure to make it explode. Because then we'll just have to start it over again and put it in a different bag. And remember guys, this careful how many you guys eat because that mayonnaise was not too strong, but it had a little bit too much THC, to be honest. So you guys can see we're starting to run a little bit out on the yolk. That's perfectly fine. Just enough for all of them. Hopefully we get it high. By the way, in the last episode, those fajitas really did creep up on you, After eating, what did I eat? 3-4 tacos. I thought I was cool. I drove home and was gonna watch TV. And before you knew it, I was like, dude, I'm going to sleep because I feel lifted. And if I don't go to bed right now, I will fly to bed later on.
Disclaimer, he did not drive home.
Yeah, true that. My wife picked me up.
Do not try to drive and do this.
Do not drive while you guys are fucking intoxicated with alcohol or THC.
Please, for the love of God.
Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. All right, and we're gonna top it off with, we have our chorizo crumbs that we did earlier. If you guys can see, or even hear, they're crumbly enough for us to get that crunch. And you guys can always, I could easily just Salt Bae this, but I would of course miss all the eggs. So if you want to make it look pretty, you guys can always get a little bit of green onions. If you guys want it, to also garnish it, throw it on top. Makes it look a little bit more pretty, more presentable. You guys are making this for like a party, you guys want to, oh, what can I bring to this party? We're so tired of cold pasta. What are we gonna make? We're gonna make some damn deviled eggs today, Karen. That's what we're gonna do. All right, now we see they all have chorizo crumbs on top. We're gonna add a little bit of our spice on top. Which this was our sriracha black pepper seasoning. Alright guys, and this is our deviled eggs. If you guys make them like this, if you guys bring them to a party, I say maybe about 40 eggs should be enough, you know, just little tasters, little samplers. You know, enough to get you hungry, but not enough to get you full. Alrighty guys, thanks for sticking with us for today's episode and making this infused THC deviled eggs for today, along with Brandon's drink.
Oh, we got the Tom Collins, as you can see. This is my third one. As you can see by my eyes, I'm definitely feeling it. It's absolutely amazing. By the way, if you actually enjoyed our content, I actually want to step in really quick. If you enjoyed our content, I don't know if NBA Layla wants to say this, but he's got his own YouTube channel where he's unboxing mystery boxes, whether it be Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards, or maybe get them on the black market. We'll see.
Oh. Alright guys, if you guys want to follow me, you guys can follow me at Laylo the Collector. That's a DA Collector. And again, let's just get this done with, because these eggs feel like they've been calling my name for a while.
I feel like we need someone to wash it down.
Yeah,
let's get it.
You know,
like good old THC.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget to hit us with a like, subscribe, and comment what you would like to see us make next, along with what drink would you like to see Brandon make.
Let's get it. Give me the worst you got. We doing rainbow shots or we doing tequila shots? You fucking tell me. Let's get it. Have a good one, y'all.